Hello and welcome to another episode of Metal in the Cabin. I'm Greg, and on today's episode I speak with Slev from Opus Mortis about what it's really like on tour, recording an EP, and how bloody difficult it is to find metal drummers. So stay tuned because this is Metal in the Cabin. So, Slev, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
So, Slev is the vocalist of extreme metal band Opus Mortis. I've mentioned on the show before. I remember the first time I heard about Opus Mortis, I think it was on Metal to the Masses.
Okay.
And I didn't have a chance to listen beforehand, but I saw the logo and I thought, I think these guys, I'm going to enjoy them. and yeah, it was wicked. So how would you describe the sound of Opus Mortis?
Oh, first off, thank you. It's an interesting combination of any elements of extreme that we can really sink our teeth into, like black and death metal, a bit of doom elements. We like to think of ourselves predominantly as a death metal band that has a lot of black metal influence.
Oh, well.
Yeah, people seem to give different opinions across when we speak to them, but you know that can only be a good thing. You know, that's the best thing about this type of music. It's perceived in all different kind of ways. So yeah, it's I would say predominantly death. Like death with black metal sections here and there. We've been described as a black metal band or a death metal band, but however people want to describe it, it's good for me.
I don't know where it'd lie. Yeah, there's elements of all of it, and I think the vocals are more death metal than they are black metal as well.
Yeah,
On the groundy guttural side of it.
Yeah, that's something new for me. It's quite exclusive for this project.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm primarily a vocalist. I did bass briefly. I've not picked it up in a good couple of years, but every other project I've been involved in, the vocals were my primary instrument.
And clean vocals?
No, just it was all black metal,
right,
high-pitched sort of screams. It was only when I formed Opus Mortis that I wanted to go down a different route. I didn't want to just do a carbon print of previous things, so I thought I'd try out doing death metal. I'd never practiced it before. Incorporating it in Opus was the first time, and it's actually, for me, it's a lot more enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
It's just the techniques you use. It's easier on my throat. It's easier on my chest, and you can still incorporate the black metal sort of screeches into it. So yeah, you can get a lot of variation. It's more comfortable for me. It's more fun to play for me.
Oh, I'm with you. I find that is important when you're actually playing and enjoying it.
Absolutely,
is a massive part of the music.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. So how did Opus Mortis form then?
Well, officially, unofficially, we formed in 2012. That was just starting out with me wanting to do something other than just strictly black metal. I wanted to do something a little more death metal orientated. I just left a previous project I was involved in, so I had no band and wanted to kind of wipe the slate clean, do something new. So I contacted Mike, our drummer, who's been the drummer of every project I've ever been involved in. There's
wicked.
No one I trust more behind the kit.
And also it's hard to find a drummer anywhere.
Yeah, the good extreme metal drummers are gold dust, absolutely, and all the best ones are in 3 other bands.
Yeah, already. Yeah.
Yes, so he was of course up for it straight away, so that was great. And then through a friend of a friend, I got in touch with a guitarist from Redditch, a guy called Dan. I heard him play a few guitar demos around a friend's house for some little project they were doing, and I thought, okay, that's quite interesting. I wanted to see if I could get new people in, people I haven't worked with previously. So I met up with him, and we hit it off really well. And he wrote the vast majority of the songs that we started out with. So yeah, we had one rehearsal with just the 3 of us, and Dan went through a couple of personal things that, long story short, meant you couldn't really commit to the project full time. So after leaving it on hold for a little while, I started looking for new members. Eventually ended up with the lot I've got now, who I'm extremely lucky to be working with. We work really well as a unit, I find, and it's a real privilege working with them. All 4 of them are very good at their own respective instruments, so it's just a privilege to watch them play. Like even just around the house watching them rehearse, it's a privilege watching them do what they do. They're all very good at their own respective instruments. feel like we've got a good solid lineup now.
Cool. So I've noticed on Facebook, you guys are getting loads of gigs all over the place with other sort of extreme metal acts. How did that come about?
Well, we were having a bit of a hard time finding gigs at first for a little while.
It's quite a niche genre, isn't it?
yeah, it is. I suppose when you don't know that many other like-minded bands, it's a bit difficult to kind of get your foot in the door with other lineups. Like any sort of local lineups, we wouldn't really fit on the bill that well. But it all started kicking off with the good amount of gigs that we've got now. It was one in Scruffy Murphy's in Birmingham. It was just over a year ago now. It was last October. A band called Trivax were looking to set up a gig, and they were advertising looking for any sort of black or death metal bands that were looking for a show. So I saw the post on Facebook and I put our name forward. He liked us enough to get us on the bill. And it was just kind of a snowball thing from there. Like we had a promoter from another show who came to see us and then asked if we wanted to be on the next one. And then,
brilliant.
But yeah, it had a snowball effect from there. And we got introduced to a lot of other good bands. We started organising things with other people, like trying to put our own gigs on.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we built up a nice little network of good like-minded bands. There's quite a few I could name.
Go for it. Name drop.
Name drop. Well,
you'll be famous one day if you hear your name.
There's a lot of really good local black metal, especially around the Midlands and outside the Midlands. There's Trivax, who we just mentioned. They're fantastic. Blaspheme, Absintropy, Shadow Flag, Burial, Wolf Bastard, Mordhau. There's so many good ones. It's a nice little network of bands that we're working with at the minute.
Fantastic. So did I see you played at a festival recently?
Yeah, it was first festival experience for all of us, I think, Warhorns Festival.
That's the one, yeah.
Up in York. That was really, really good. We were on really early on the last day, which was good for us because, being really excited to play our first festival, we wanted to get it out of the way. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was really, really good experience for us. Very, very well run festival. We were only there for the last day that we were playing, and we stayed for as long as we could, and we really did enjoy it. So I think some of us are talking about going back next year just as fans to attend the whole time. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Nice, man. Well, I remember going back 15, maybe 20 years, I went to Tina Park Festival, and the guys opening the Sunday show was The Darkness.
Oh yeah.
So on the last day, opening early shows, you never know what'll happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you could be the next Justin Hawkins. Yourself and Justin Hawkins are both sort of charismatic frontmen of great bands, but in an entirely different way. You sort of have a very dark, atmospheric, almost scary kind of thing going on, like a horror movie. It's that enjoyable, scary kind of stuff. How did that come about? How do you do that?
It's just trying to incorporate the sound of the music with your actions. You've got to live the experience of the music. Without sounding too cheesy, you've got to kind of feel the music flow through you and portray that in the best way you can physically. It's good being just a vocalist and not being constricted with an instrument, so you can give them that sort of horrible feeling through your actions as well as through the music.
Aye.
It's for me it's really important anyway to keep the atmosphere alive. It's not just atmosphere created by the music, it's atmosphere created by your presence.
And I guess that's one thing being being a frontman, it's most of the eyes are on you most of the time. So you can't just sort of like do a power stance and bang your head a little bit like a guitarist. There's constantly got to be stuff going on.
Yeah, especially like I say, if you're not constricted behind an instrument, it's easier because you've got more room to manoeuvre.
Aye. So one thing that I got after your first show that I saw was the EP.
Oh yeah?
Which is absolutely awesome. It's wicked. You should buy it. There's 4 fantastic songs on it.
Thank you.
How did the EP come about?
Well, when like I was saying earlier, when we pieced together the lineup that we had now, a lot of the songs were already written. 3 of the songs that are on the EP were written by the previous guy who was with us. We didn't just do a carbon print of them, we tweaked them here and there and kind of incorporated this new sound that we were bringing in with the new songs into it. The third track on the EP, Stillborn Psychosis, that's the first official recorded song that's done entirely with this lineup that we have now.
Wicked.
And yeah, I mean, they were really good songs, and we were happy to continue using them, so we didn't want to scrap them and get an entirely new slate for them. But yeah, we didn't want to just, or these guys especially, you know, as they were just joining this band and they were really excited about it, they wanted to have their own imprint on our first release, and the first song we came out with, Stillborn, it's still like one of my favourite songs that we play now.
Brilliant.
So yeah, we thought 4 tracks was good for a first release, so combined both sort of eras, if you like, onto the one CD.
So how did you find people to print the actual physical CD bit on the top and the sleeve it goes in?
Oh, that was just through networking, just speaking to people that we know, like, because we were quite a new band, and to my knowledge, bands that the other members had been in previously hadn't, well, you know, I don't want to say professional, but like done any official releases. So yeah, we just did a bit of networking, spoke around to various people that we know had been in that position before. The company that we went with, it was recommended by Anthony Knight from Gattaca.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, he helped us out quite a lot with getting all that printed.
Oh, wicked.
So, yeah, that's a good thing about the Midlands metal scene. Everyone's looking out for each other. Everyone recommends different places you can go to get banners, merch, CD printing and everything. So,
I've definitely found that. I remember when Barbican, we had our first gig, a promoter who I'd never even spoken before approached us. And apparently he'd heard of us through Coventry rehearsal rooms.
Okay.
When Paul used to work there. So yeah, it's just, you know, even before we were properly on the scene, people always said, "Oh yeah, you might want to give Barbican a try." So yeah, you're absolutely right. The amount of friendly people on the scene is fantastic.
That is, funnily enough, exactly how one of our guitarists joined us.
Right.
Because we were rehearsing with just one guitar. We knew we wanted a second one. A lot of the songs were written for 2 guitars. But Lewis, the guitarist that the newest guitarist that's joined us, has been with us for quite a while now. He was dropping off something to Paul, I do believe, and he heard us rehearsing. He wasn't aware that there were any extreme metal bands in Coventry that rehearsed there, and he did say that we were looking for a guitarist, so he sent us a message just through dropping something off there.
Yeah.
The rest is history, as they say.
It's nice how the stars align like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really convenient. But Lewis is fantastic as well. Pretty much as soon as he joined, or as soon as he came along for the first audition, we knew he was going to be a good fit. We just didn't want to tell him straight away to see how enthusiastic he was about it.
Yeah, I'm with you, yeah. Don't want to appear too keen too quickly.
Yeah, well, it's just good to gauge how interested other people are before you let them commit full time.
So now you've got the line that's been stable for a while. Are you plan to release anything with a new, well, the proper official lineup?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. We're writing material at the minute. The idea is a 6-track LP, but you know, we'll see what happens. More songs might come about. I don't know. It's hard to put an official date or number on it at the minute, but yeah, we are writing new material, which we're all extremely excited about. Started to incorporate some of those songs in the shows that we do now as well.
Brilliant.
Hopefully in the next few shows we do, starting next year, we'll be able to introduce another new song or 2.
Wicked.
So hopefully, if all goes well, early to mid next year, we'll start recording the next release.
Fantastic. And have you got any big shows coming up over the next few months?
We've got Nottingham next week, and 2 weeks after that we're in London. Very excited about both. In London, it's a continuation of a mini tour we did in September.
Yeah.
With a band from Bristol called Blaspheme and Birmingham-based Trivax, who I've mentioned already. They were both an absolute pleasure to play with for the 3 days, so we're really excited to get back on the road with them.
How did the tour come about? Because everyone's heard of tours, and you think of, you know, huge tour buses and, you know, mountains of cocaine and groupies everywhere. Was it like that?
No. it was pretty much all organised by one of the guys from Trivax and one of the guys from Blaspheme. We were invited to be the openers, just as we'd done several gigs with Trivax before, and we got on with them really well. So, but obviously, we were more than happy to accept the offer. But yeah, no, it wasn't a label supported tour or anything like that. It was all organised within the bands, which to me it's a lot better.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're starting out and you haven't done a lot of those kind of things. It's there's a lot more camaraderie to it. Yeah, the experience, all in all, it was really, really good.
Fantastic.
So I'd be more than happy to work with those guys anytime.
Wicked. So, heavy metal is a bit of a niche genre. Extreme metal is a niche of a niche. How did you get into that?
Getting into extreme metal, like, I don't think there was one particular occasion or one particular experience that pushed me into it. It was starting listening to heavy metal from the time where I started secondary school, so aged about 11 or something. Just I went to a different school to all of my friends that I had in primary school, so I didn't really know anyone. And then the first group of people I kind of ended up latching onto were, the goth kids and the skater kids, and
Wicked.
they would say, Iron Maiden, have you listened to them? Black Sabbath, Ozzy, like, I've heard of Ozzy. Like,
Brilliant.
Yeah, he's that guy from
Good
TV.
starting point.
And I was never really interested in music before that point. I don't know if I was just too young or if I just never heard anything that particularly appealed, and then that was music that really started speaking to me. And then, I'd get £10 a week lunch money that I'd just go and spend on CDs. And,
Brilliant.
and I just made a point of buying anything from the metal section that had the coolest cover.
Yeah.
Just like, that looks cool, I've got to get that, not knowing who any of these bands are. And I believe it was a music DVD of Marduk. Funeral Marches and War Songs, really good Swedish black metal band. And I just remember coming across that and thinking, well, these guys have a cool logo.
Brilliant.
So I bought that, and it wasn't like anything I'd ever heard at that point. I didn't realise music could be that lively and aggressive and powerful.
Yeah,
I didn't realise it could make you feel that powerful. The rest was history from that point, as they say. And Marduk were kind of the gateway band that pushed me into a lot of other types of extreme.
Wicked.
It wasn't too long after that I decided that's the kind of thing I wanted to start doing. But didn't really, being 12, 13, didn't really have the patience to start learning an instrument at the time, so just started shouting until I found the right pitch.
Okay, so did you get a band around that time as well?
Yeah. My first ever band was while I was still in school.
Fantastic.
With almost all people from school, and then we met a drummer, Mike, who's the drummer of Opus now.
Oh, cool.
Like I said, he's done drums for every band I've ever been in. That was my first starting point, being in a black metal band aged about 13, 14.
Fantastic.
It was good experiences. We had a lot of fun.
Have you ever done any music work with any other genres?
No, no, not really. It's other genres. I do like other genres. I appreciate a lot of other genres, but they don't really speak to me on the same sort of level. To the point that I feel like I have to be involved with it. Whereas extreme metal speaks to me on a very personal level, and I can relate to it in so many ways, and a lot of the philosophies I think I personally relate to. So, I think that's extremely important.
Opus Mortis, anti-human, anti-god.
yeah, exactly. Well, there's one small example, I think it's important to get involved with music that does make you feel things and does make you think about things differently, makes you question your grip on reality.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, like
this
I
is
say,
philosophy hour on Metal in the Cabin.
Like I say, I do appreciate other genres of music besides metal, but nothing that speaks to me to the point that I'd want to get involved with it.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, that sounds familiar. So it's interesting how you find different genres and have almost like gateway genres to the harder stuff as it goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not often that you get pushed straight into the extreme and you click with it. It's a gradual process. It was with myself, but yeah, it's musically it's all I really know now at this point. It's all I've ever really been involved in. But yeah, I can't really see myself doing anything else.
Yeah, I know you feel. I mean, I always find it funny when you ask someone what kind of music they like, and you think, oh, I like a bit of everything. So really, what's your favourite black metal band then?
Yeah, into Tibetan throat music and bit of everything.
I tried that before. I had to have a lozenge afterwards. It's quite difficult.
Yeah.
But right, I guess we're near the end of the show. The only thing I'd like to say is there is a ton of merch available for Opus Mortis. There is the album, the 4-track EP even, which is available. Is there a website or is it the Facebook you go to?
It is available on Bandcamp for digital download. It should be available for physical copies fairly soon. The same with merch as well. We've got a few t-shirts at the minute. There'll be other things at the pipeline quite soon in the way of merch.
Awesome.
T-shirts and EPs at the moment.
Brilliant. I'm thoroughly looking forward to picking one of the t-shirts up. As I said, I have the EP. It is well worth a listen. Well, Slev, thank you very much for coming on the show, mate.
It was a great pleasure, thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you at the gig soon.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you soon.
So there we have it, the end of another episode of Metal in the Cabin. I want to say a massive thank you to Slev from Opus Mortis for coming on the show and talking with me. If you're interested in anything we talked about, there are a load of links in the description below. Now, next time on Metal in the Cabin, I have a treat for you, my friends. We have none other than Metal to the Masses Coventry finalists and winners, Pelugian. That's right, a band who appeared on Bloodstock are coming to the cabin to talk about metal, how the band formed, and what it's really like at a massive music festival. Not only that, they're going to play live in the cabin a cover version of a song which you may not expect them to play. In the meantime, my friends, stay metal.